How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is wrapping up its end of the year sale as we move on into the holiday sale that will be kicking off in a little over a week from now. A lot of good deals available. We've done a ton of videos, so go check those out if you haven't. This is just 10 more deals that are available, and most of these are well over $20, but some of them are under, so let's get right into it, and let's start off with one that's under 20 bucks. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is 70% off for $17.99. This is available with PlayStation Plus Extra. Honestly, one of the best games you can play on Plus Extra if you do have that subscription service, which I know a lot of you guys are unsubscribing to. 13 Sentinels is a terrific game done by Vanillaware, the same guys that did Muramasa the Demon's Blade, Odin Sphere, and Dragon's Crown, and they're currently working on a brand new tactical RPG, Unicorn Overlord, I believe it's called. But 13 Sentinels was a tremendous game, once again employing that great Vanillaware art style, has an awesome soundtrack, and the story is great. Now, it is one of those, like, you know, time travel stories, which those stories can be absolute train wrecks, and one misstep can make those stories completely nonsensical, but 13 Sentinels does a great job while keeping an air of mystery for a large portion of the game, also unraveling at a steady pace to keep you intrigued and engaged in the game. I just thought it was really, really well done. Wasn't crazy about the tactical combat system that was in the game, but overall still a fantastic game, and 70% off for $18 I think is a great pickup, so definitely go check that out. Highly recommended and a super underrated game. Next up we have Detroit Become Human Digital Deluxe Edition, which is 50% off for $14.99. Detroit is a game that I often recommend, done by Quantic Dreams. If you're familiar with their games, they very much do more narrative-heavy, decision-based games, and Detroit is certainly that futuristic world that I think a lot of people in today's world can get pretty into. And with the Digital Deluxe Edition, you also get Heavy Rain on PlayStation 4 and some in-game items that, you know, nothing to write home about as far as the in-game items, digital art book, digital deluxe soundtrack, and stuff like that, some avatars, and dynamic themes for the two of you that are still on PS4. But yeah, Detroit's great, and you get Heavy Rain with this bundle as well. That's just kind of like stealthily added in there, and Heavy Rain is quite good as well. Shows its age, but I remember when Heavy Rain initially came out back in 2010, it was really, really well received, and again, shows its age now, but still a worthwhile playthrough. Next up, we have Bayonetta and Vanquish 10th Anniversary Bundle, 75% off for $9.99. Two awesome fast-paced action games done by Platinum Games. I love Vanquish. I think the game is super underrated. The issue with Vanquish was, you know, coming out back in October of 2010, I think it was, you know, it being a 5 to 6 hour game for $60, yeah, that was gonna be an issue, but man, if you're talking about over-the-top action games, you were getting exactly that with Vanquish. Bayonetta, obviously a lot more well-known with Nintendo publishing a bunch of sequels that'll never come out on PlayStation, but is what it is. You got the first game in this bundle and $9.99 for both these games. Quite good, $5 a pop, and definitely when you're spending $5 on a game like Vanquish instead of $60, you're gonna be a lot more satisfied with the experience that it offers. Next up, we have Lost Judgment, 70% off for $18, the follow-up to Judgment. Lost Judgment is generally considered to be a lot better from a gameplay and content standpoint. However, narratively, I think Judgment is the stronger game that most people gravitate towards. Judgment is also a very, like, contained story where it tells a very satisfying story from start to finish, so I would recommend you to play Judgment first, of course, but if you want more of that content, Lost Judgment is a pretty good one. I'm always of the mindset that if you want to get into the RGG games, I know a lot of people recommend Yakuza 0 as a good starting point, but the fact is, Judgment was built ground up for the PS4, so technically speaking, it's a little bit better. It's got English voice acting, and I think it's pretty damn good as far as the English voice acting is concerned, and I know some people are like, blasphemy, you can't play the RGG games with English voice acting, but I know a lot of people would just prefer that. 18 bucks for Lost Judgment, great deal. Also available on Plus Extra, so you can play it on that. Next up, we got Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 and 2.5 Remix. These games, unfortunately, got a price increase after, I want to say, the Epic Games Store, the Xbox versions came out. They used to go for a lot cheaper, and then, you know, Square Enix decided to up the price, I guess, to have parity with the other versions' releases for whatever reason, but this gets you Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts Ray Chain of Memories, you get Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 2, and some other content. I think the Dream Drop Distance cutscenes are in there as well. it's a ton of content for your money. Obviously, like, Kingdom Hearts 1 shows its age. I think Kingdom Hearts 2 is still damn good. Birth by Sleep is really good as well. All the games are really good, and most people want to play the Kingdom Hearts titles, like, sequentially. You know, it is a hard story to follow at times, but still, I think it's incredibly worthwhile. Soundtrack is incredible, gameplay is solid, and for the most part, the story is engaging. Kind of gets wild at times, but I would still say it's a good pickup for what you're paying. Next up, we got VALKYRIE ELYSIUM, 60% off for $24. If this was a little bit cheaper, I would say slam dunk pickup, but 24 bucks is still decent. This is a game that you have to keep your expectations in line as far as what to expect for a Square Enix JRPG. This is definitely one of their, you know, second-tier JRPGs. It's not a Final Fantasy or anything like that, but it's not some quality action combat that I think is well done. The visuals aren't that great. The soundtrack is pretty good, and the story is kind of nonsensical. So, you know, I still think there's a lot to like, and for 24 bucks, it's not a bad pickup. So I would say at this price point, it's worthwhile to check it out. Next up, Sonic Frontiers, 60% off for 24 bucks. I am a big fan of recommending this game. As you guys may have noticed, I thought this game was blow away, and especially from a Sonic fan's point of view, like, Sonic games are generally pretty mid, and Sonic Frontiers was well above that. Did it have its issues? Sure. I think from a gameplay standpoint, there's a lot more that Sega can do to develop on this, but they laid the foundation for what Sonic could become in the future, and I think if they do a sequel to this, you know, the sky's the limit as far as that's concerned. Soundtrack is absolutely excellent. Good bit of content for 24 bucks. Definitely a good pickup there. Next up, we got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, $29.39 on this. Really one of the first PlayStation 5 exclusives that showcased what the console could do from a technical standpoint with, you know, traveling between the rifts and whatnot. It's a really good game. The issue was 70 bucks for a game that you can platinum in 12 to 13 hours. Like, yeah, that's gonna be a little bit of a hard sell for a lot of people, but I still think overall, Ratchet Rift Apart was a really, really well done game. You know, a bit of replayability. I thought the inclusion of Rivet added a nice layer to Ratchet and Clank as a whole. Obviously, I don't think we're gonna get a lot more Ratchet content going forward. Insomniac is busy with Spider-Man, with Marvel's Wolverine, and, you know, unless they give Ratchet and Clank to a different studio, like, I don't know how Insomniac could juggle Ratchet as well. At the very least, can we get a Ratchet Future Collection? Like, those games are just in PS3 purgatory right now, and it'd be nice if we could play those, but nonetheless, Rift Apart, definitely worthwhile. At this price point, I think it's pretty good. It is on Plus Extra, of course. Next up, Diablo 3 Eternal Collection, 67% off for $19.79. It's Diablo, like, there's not much more to say outside of that, but this gives you a lot of content. Diablo 4 certainly had its mixed reception, but Diablo 3 Eternal Collection gets you Diablo 3 and Reaper of Souls. That's a ton of content, ton of replayability, and if you just want that action dungeon crawling experience at a cheaper price point, I mean, sub 20 bucks for Diablo 3 is pretty good. And lastly, we have Persona 5 Royal, 50% off for $29.99 for the PS5 version. This also includes all of the DLC that was in the Ultimate Edition. 30 bucks is pricey for a game that came out in early 2020, but you know what? Persona 5 is generally considered to be one of the best video games ever created. I don't even have to say best JRPG. Like, a lot of people consider it to be the best JRPG ever made, but legitimately, if you look at its Metacritic score, the general consensus is that this is one of the best made games ever, and for a good reason. Excellent soundtrack, great combat system, good story, great cast of characters. Royal obviously extends the experience quite a bit with its expansion, and yeah, for 30 bucks, you're talking about getting well over 100 hours of gameplay. Easy recommendation there. If you are a Plus Premium subscriber, you can get a 4-hour game trial, which 4 hours is a lot better than a lot of other games, but that's still, for Persona 5, just scratching the surface. But that'll be doing it for me. Again, the end of the year sale is quite good with a lot of good stuff. Links to all of the deals will be in the description box below, so check that out, and sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.